All right. Let me go a little bit faster through the rest of this show. I wanted to make sure that I had a long discussion of the game. That game deserved it. And then I want to talk about these three other teams that kind of survived on Saturday. Bama survived. Florida State survived. Washington survived. And now all of them, I think you would say, in some way, shape, or form, Washington's in a play-in game. I think Florida State win and you're in, although I don't think anybody, I think it's fair to say, I think it's fair to say, even if Florida State wins against Louisville, they're not one of the four best teams in the country. I think we know that. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't go to the playoff or that they don't deserve to go to the playoff. But you know the age-old argument that always gets thrown out about, well, are they one of the four best? No, they're not. Bama survives. And if they would have lost to Auburn, there's no way that they could have gotten into the playoffs. So they stay alive, although in order to get in, now Bama's going to need not only some help, they're going to need to win. I don't think they're in a play-in situation because now that game against Auburn is a bit of a black eye on their resume, even in a win because of how it happened. They survive 4th and goal from the 31. Auburn, by the way, last week got beat by 21 against New Mexico State on the same field. To be fair, Auburn has played really well against SEC teams at home. Lost to Georgia by 7, Ole Miss by 7, now Bama by 3. But they do have that New Mexico State loss by 21. The end of that game was, I don't know how to categorize it. So Bama gets a 1st and goal and you just like, oh yeah, they're going to win. But then they have the bad snap. And then he goes across the line of scrimmage, makes a throw. And then they've got 4th and goal. And Auburn runs one of the worst defenses you can possibly imagine. So on 3rd down and forever, they rush 3. And Milroe kind of has to escape, which is what you want. And the reason is because, one, he's not going to run for it from 31 yards out. And if you can force him to take off one direction, you are cutting off the amount of field that you have to cover. But when he's allowed to just stand there, then you've got to cover the entire 53 and a half yards across in the end zone. And Auburn on 4th down rushes 2, and they have a spy. A spy for what? The 31-yard scramble when the rest of the defense is sitting at the goal line? Like, what are we doing? That was wild. And to be fair, Milroe kind of threw a prayer. And they end up winning the game. That was wild. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Man, Milroe, by the way, not a Heisman moment at all. But what a win for Bama. And then they stay alive. So now they're still alive, and they're still going to get people that argue for them because that's just the way college football works, even though they survived on a 4th and 31 because Auburn doesn't know how to play defense. They had a spy. They rushed 2 and had a spy. 4th and 31. What are we doing? What are we doing? You don't need to spy him. You want him to run out of the pocket. You're desperate for him to flush out of the pocket. And in fact, because you only rushed 2, both of those guys were double teamed. Those guys aren't getting to the quarterback. So you got 2 guys both being double teamed. And the center was just waiting on the spy. And the spy just never rushed. So the only guy on the field that had a one-on-one situation to impact for the defense was the spy who didn't take advantage of it. He didn't even rush. You want Milroe to run out of the pocket. Please try to run for it. Oh, my goodness. I'd be sick if I was an Auburn fan. Florida State beats Florida 24-15 in a game that was way closer than 24-15. Florida State trailed 12-0. Benson, it was at 3rd and 3 with about 3 minutes. He broke it out, ran for a touchdown. Florida State had 224 yards of total offense, and they were outgained in the game by a team that's not bowl eligible in Florida. Like, guys, again, I can't stand that Jordan Travis got injured, but without Jordan Travis, there is zero chance that Florida State is one of the 4 best teams in the country. Period. Not a chance. I think Louisville will beat them, but Louisville just lost to Kentucky. So I'm not sure. Florida had a couple of dumb penalties. They had a targeting when Rodemaker was sliding. I mean, he's going to be 4 yards short on 3rd down, and they're taking a shot at him. They're diving at him like, what is Florida doing? Oh, yeah, they're being Florida. That's why they aren't going to a bowl game. And so, like, as much as I hate the fact that an undefeated team is categorized like this for me, Florida State is pretty clearly not one of the 4 best teams in the country.
Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.